This is a training film on how to set the dk-1 gopher trap manufactured by PW Manufacturing in Henrietta, Oklahoma. When you purchase the trap, it will come in the position that you're looking at. We call this the closed position. Before you start to work with the trap, always be sure that you're wearing gloves. That is very important. Don't try to do this with your bare hands. We'd like to show you a few of the parts of the dk-1 gopher trap. The first part we're going to show you as we pick it up in our right hand is the tail. This tail will be what we will use in a moment to set the trap. These are the jaws. When they're in the open position in a moment, you will see more how they work. The trip is what actually trips the trap. The trip is around the spring, and this is the spring latch. On the other end is a metal loop, and this loop is there for you to place a wire stake to hold your trap down in case a bigger animal were to get a hold of the gopher after he's killed. Take the trap in your right hand. Your first two fingers will go under the spring, and your thumb will reach to the spring latch. At this time, we will undo the spring just like this and allow it to turn over, and the spring is now opened. When the spring is open, the spring latch will be right up here with the part of the spring. At this time, we're going to take the tail. Now, the number one problem that we have with the traps is the fact that most people want to bring the whole tail over the top. That does not happen. If you can notice, there's a little bitty lip on the bottom of the tail. That is what goes over your jaw. It goes over the jaw, and the longer part goes under the jaw and down to the spring. While you're holding it down to the spring, take the trip and slide it up onto the spring. All right, while it is there, you're going to take the trap in your right hand. With your left hand, you're going to take the spring latch, being careful that you do not put your hand under the trip. You keep the hand away from the trip. Now, the second thing that people do wrong with the dk-1 is they want to turn this part. This part does not turn. If you turn this part, you will ruin the whole trap. Watch carefully as I place those same two fingers back under there, and I'm going to hold this with my left hand. My right hand is going to rotate the entire metal part of the trap around clockwise and lock it into the spring. The spring is now locked in position. The only thing that is left for you to do is to bring the tail and bring the trip down right to the very end of the tail. It is now set and ready for your gopher. You'd go to where the fresh mound of the gopher is, and you would take this and you would set it down. You would dig the mound out to where you can see the runway. This will go right down into the runway, just like this. Cover a little dirt back up on the side, but you want to leave this open. The gopher, regardless of where he is, will come to this opening because this air and sunlight, whatever's coming down in here, will bother him, and he will come up through here pushing dirt, and as he comes through here, his head or the dirt, whichever gets there first, will hit this, and the gopher is caught. And that's the way the dk-1 gopher trap works. When you purchase the dk-1 gopher trap, you should receive an instruction sheet just like the one you're looking at on your screen. Now we're going to show you a blown up portion of this, and this will show you exactly where to place the gopher trap when you have dug the dirt off from the mound. This is the way it's placed into the hole. This picture is also on your instruction sheet, and just in a smaller version. Now we would like to take you back over the trap one more time to be sure that you understand all of the parts. This is the trap in the closed position. This is the tail. There are two parts to the tail. There is a long piece and there's a little short piece. It is that short piece that goes over the top of the jaw. This is the jaws that catch the gopher. This is the spring. This is the trip that trips the trap. And this is the spring latch. Take the trap in your right hand. Open the trap by releasing the spring. Turn it all the way around and you will have the jaws open. Taking the little piece on the tail, you place it over the top of the jaw. Pull the long piece down to the spring, take the trip and slide the trip up over. You see how that's done? All right, now we're ready to set the trap. I'll let my cameraman take a close-up view here of what this looks like. This is your little short piece hanging over the trap. This is the long piece that comes over. The trip is holding this long piece in position at this time. Now we will set the trap and have it ready to operate. Holding the trap in your right hand, take your 2 fingers, place under the spring. Again, being careful to keep your hand away from the trip. Take your thumb and hold the spring latch. This part will not turn. This part in your right hand is going to turn 360 degrees in a clockwise fashion. Now the trap is set. Hold the tail, move this to the top, bring it down where it's just right on the edge. You can see it right there. That's the way the trap is supposed to look when it is set. The jaws are supposed to be up, the trip is supposed to be up, and the spring is supposed to be right here. The gopher, then, if you place it in the position that I showed you a while ago in the blown up picture, the gopher will come through here, push dirt into here, or either he will touch it himself, and when he does that, it's gone. And that's the dk-1 gopher trap.